Section 1. The Wounds of Invasion, written by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. The African continent bears deep scars, etched by centuries of invasion. Arab traders arrived first, drawn by wealth and opportunity. They brought with them their culture and religion, leaving an indelible mark on the continent's east coast. Then came the Europeans, their arrival heralding a new era of exploitation. Driven by greed and a sense of superiority, they carved up Africa like a prize. These invasions were brutal and relentless. African societies were torn apart, their peoples subjected to unimaginable cruelty. The invaders plundered Africa's resources, leaving behind a legacy of poverty and underdevelopment. The wounds of this exploitation run deep, shaping the continent's trajectory for generations to come. Section 2. Chains across the ocean. The transatlantic slave trade stands as one of history's darkest chapters. Millions of Africans were ripped from their homes, shackled and forced onto ships bound for the Americas. The journey was horrific, a testament to human cruelty. Many perished on the overcrowded vessels, their bodies tossed into the sea. Those who survived faced a life of brutal servitude. They were treated as chattel, their labor fueling the economies of the New World. Generations were born into slavery, stripped of their heritage and dignity. The impact of this forced migration is still felt today, a haunting reminder of a shameful past. Section 3. The unkept promise of return. Following the abolition of slavery, there was much talk of repatriation. The descendants of those who had been stolen from Africa were promised a return to their ancestral lands. But these promises rang hollow. There were no concrete plans, no real commitment to righting the wrongs of the past. Instead, these newly freed individuals were left to navigate a world still steeped in prejudice and discrimination. They faced immense challenges, denied equal opportunities and basic human rights. The dream of returning to the land of their ancestors remained just that, a distant, unfulfilled dream. Section 4. A legacy of disparity. The descendants of the invaders and the enslaved live with the consequences of this history. In many parts of the world, the descendants of European colonists enjoy privilege and power. They benefit from systems and structures designed to maintain their advantage. Meanwhile, the descendants of enslaved Africans continue to grapple with the legacy of their ancestors' suffering. They face systemic racism, economic inequality, and limited opportunities. This stark disparity is a constant reminder of the unfinished business of justice and reconciliation. Section 5. The missionary's shadow. The arrival of missionaries in Africa is a complex and often contradictory story. While some genuinely sought to spread their faith and improve lives, their actions were often intertwined with the colonial project. They established schools and hospitals, but these institutions often served as tools of assimilation. African cultures and traditions were often denigrated, portrayed as primitive and uncivilized. This cultural imperialism left a lasting impact, undermining traditional beliefs and practices. Today, the legacy of missionaries is viewed with a mixture of gratitude and resentment, a reflection of their complicated role in Africa's past. Section 6. Voices of Liberation, Echoes of Betrayal. The 20th century witnessed a powerful wave of liberation movements across Africa. Figures like Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X emerged, their voices calling for an end to colonial rule and racial injustice. They inspired generations with their message of self-reliance, pride, and Pan-African unity. Yet, even as these movements gained momentum, they faced betrayal from within. Some African leaders, driven by personal ambition or pressure from external forces, undermined the struggle for true liberation. They made deals with former colonizers, perpetuating systems of exploitation and inequality.